kind of going from some slides. And Sheryl, I've never done a call with slides. So were you thinking that we would just like look at them on our own and talk through it, or what were you thinking?
I was going to share my screen and put them up, and then I'll just move through them. I'll be the one that is controlling them, but we'll just, when you're ready or when I'm ready, we'll just move through them. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. And sorry it's so late. My kids literally are not even asleep yet. So we are just struggling over here in Texas. But yeah, we'll just, this is perfect. Yeah, and Sheryl, I can start with that first slide if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to say that like the point of view that I'm kind of speaking from tonight is really to those of you out there who are really like wanting to run with this business. Like I'm really wanting to talk to those of you who want to really lead and really form your own team and dream big. So if that is you, I would definitely put the New Leaders Conference on your vision board for 2020. If you don't know how to get there, it's actually not that hard. You really just need to be a one-star coach. So my plan for getting there was to get myself to Diamond and then my husband to Diamond. So you just need to be a one-star Diamond. And honestly, like once you get there, you just feel this level of, it's different from Summit because you're surrounded by people who are at the same level you are. Everyone's wanting to really be professional at this. Everyone's wanting to hit these big goals. And there's just like a sense of like positive pride that can come with being a part of this conference and things that you're going to learn and take away that you wouldn't be able to get from other places. So I would definitely just put this down, talk with your upline, like make a plan. Where's my notes? So make a plan for getting there. Like, are you at Diamond? How are you getting to Diamond? Who's going to be your one star? A bonus would be to have a working coach as well as your husband get to Diamond. And then you would go as a 2-star, which is what I was able to go as, and also a premier coach. So I actually have spoken with some of my Diamonds, and we've kind of discussed, you know, setting premier as a goal for this year because it's so early in the year, you guys. Like, there's so much time for that. And then be sure to share your vision with your team. So if you have, you know, working coaches under you, talk with them, tell them that this is a goal of yours, and those that are pushing for Diamond, help lead them there. Don't be afraid to, you know, share that vision with them. So yeah, that's what I have on that one, Sheryl.
Okay, perfect. So when we were at the New Leaders Conference, there were a lot of amazing speakers. Carl spoke right at the beginning, and then we had a bunch of top coaches who were speakers as well. So we're going to share some of our main takeaways from all of the speakers that we heard from. And one thing to know is that, you know, the New Leaders Conference, it took place over the course of a day and a half. So there was a lot of information that was, you know, that we took in over that time. So we're just trying to share a few nuggets that we think will help you guys. And also don't feel that, you know, everything we say tonight, it might not necessarily be relevant to you right now. And you might feel maybe overwhelmed with information, but the idea is just pick a few things that we say tonight, maybe 1 or 2 things, and try implementing those rather than feeling like you have to implement everything or you have to take it all in. So that being said, I'll just share a little bit of what Carl said to us. He was, I think, one of the first speakers, and if you've ever heard him speak in person, he's amazing and he's so motivating. And what, like, the main theme of what he was talking about in his address to us was he wanted to get across the point that we should all be thinking every day, fear is not welcome here. Because there are so many times in this business where we let fear get to us and we let it hold us back. Maybe, you know, we're afraid to post, certain posts or post our transformation pictures, or maybe we're afraid to invite someone, or we're, afraid to invite someone to coaching, or afraid of rejection. We just have to let go of all that fear, because it doesn't serve us in any way. It really doesn't. So make this the year that you just put fear in the background and forget about it, and just really, instead of thinking about, being scared, just focus on, who can I help today? Let me help someone. Who can I help by posting this or by inviting them? And when you focus on, love, and when you focus on helping, it really helps to get rid of the fear. But he also said, you can't just talk about this fluffy stuff. You also have to put in the work, right? You have to put in the work every single day. And one thing that he said was, you can't just focus on the outcomes. You have to focus on the actions. So the outcome might be, let's say, hitting Success Club 10, or earning a certain amount a week, or maybe it's, going 1 star so you can attend the new leaders conference. Yes, we have to have those goals, and we have to have those big picture things in mind, but you really have to focus on the actions that you're going to take every single day that are going to get you to the outcomes that you want to achieve. And the way to do that, you guys, is with the new business activity tracker. And they mentioned this a million times at the conference, and we've all been talking about this since it came out in the beginning of the year. Focus on the actions on the business activity tracker, and that's going to lead you to your goals. One thing he also said was, the way we should be thinking about this business is like, we have a golden ticket, right? What that means is we're going to help people achieve their goals and get results. And if they don't, they get their money back. There's an amazing 30-day money back guarantee with all of our challenge packs, and even with the coaching opportunity. So you should never feel scared to invite someone, because you're either going to help them get results, or they're going to get their money back. It's like a win-win situation. So just ask yourself every single day when you wake up in the morning, how can I help more people today? Who am I going to help? And I think when you do that, it just, like I said before, it takes the fear away. It helps you just focus on the actions, and really that will get you to the outcomes you want to get to. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Camille, or I'll just move on to the next slide.
No, that was good. That was good. Okay, so my biggest takeaways from this conference were definitely just kind of owning up to myself as a leader. We have an amazing team, like Michelle, Amy, Megan, like they provide all this wonderful like material for us, and like we have these great calls, and it's very easy to get a little not lazy, but comfortable not really leading, because we have these great leaders. And so for me, I came away from this conference really feeling like the need to step up and start sharing more with my own team and doing more things with them, doing some team calls, starting a team page. I just haven't really done any of that. And it's actually been a really good thing, because I think that sometimes, when you first become a coach, you can lose your focus if you try to focus too much on leading calls and all of that. But I feel like personally that I've reached a point to start doing that more. So one of the things they talked about was just learning how to step up, what that means. It's sort of like leading people through a jungle, and you're the first person, and you're the one having to cut down all the limbs. You're the one that's having to share, your vision. Like I mentioned before, you need to be your biggest fan. You don't just want to step your toe in this. You want to go all in with this. So 10xing your actions, are you upping your numbers? No one is doing anything special. Like I remember, like when I was talking to Kate Schultz, I remember, or any of the coaches I spoke with, I was like, you know what? Like they're not really doing anything different. And like, we know that, we hear that all the time, but it's so true. They're just consistent. They're maybe inviting more. They're maybe adding more people to their following. So that would be, 10xing your actions using the business activity tracker. I'll admit it, today's the first day that I've used it, and I've already noticed a difference. Personal development, we know that that's going to be key for us. My advice is to find books that are really going to speak to you. Like, are you needing help with leadership? Are you needing help with confidence? Are you needing help with time management? And I think it's easy if you've been in this. So I've been a coach for almost 2 years now. And for the past month, I've let my personal development slip, and I've noticed a huge difference in my mood, my confidence. So really, pick up some of those books that you maybe read in the beginning of coaching and reread them. Let me see what I have here. Yeah, just kind of like owning yourself as a leader. I think leadership can sometimes be kind of scary. I've never wanted to be a leader. I'm a follower to a fault. And, as a coach and leading, a team of your own, you really do have to kind of step up. But when I got back from leadership, I made a point to talk with all of my leader coaches and basically ask them, I want to do this with you guys. Like, this is a team thing and I want to hear your opinion on things. So yeah, that's just learning to lead, learning to step up was a huge part of the conference, obviously.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And anyone who's on this call, you guys are all leaders because you're leading the customers in your challenge groups. Maybe even if you don't have any coaches on your team yet, you're leading the customers in your challenge groups, or, you're leading your family. You're setting an example with your friends and your family. And if you have a team, even if you have 2 coaches on your team, you're a leader. So I think starting to think of yourself as a leader right away can really just help you just step up and level up and really just make you be a little bit better. So that's go ahead.
Pretend that you're already where you want to be. So when I first signed up as a coach, I pictured myself as a diamond coach. I don't even know if I was an emerald, but I just had that mindset that I was a diamond. And so now my goal right now is 5-star diamond. So I want to wake up every day and act like a 5-star diamond coach. And so it really does help your mindset if you picture that and have that affirmation already out there.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about new coaches. So if you're a new coach, you can start doing some of these things right away. Or if you are starting to bring on new coaches to your team, then these ideas will be applicable to you as you help to train the coaches that join your team. And I know often coaches, whether they're new or whether they're seasoned, they're not sure exactly how to best help new coaches get started. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that way, but sometimes I feel that way. I'm like, how can I best help my new coaches get started? And what I loved from the information that they shared at this conference was that we really don't need to overcomplicate things with our new coaches. It's we just need to show them a few simple things and that is it. And one thing that Ashlie Molstad, because sometimes your coaches might be like, I don't know what to say to people. I don't know how to invite them. Can you tell me what to say? I need a script, blah, 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 blah. And one thing that Ashlie Molstad said was, you don't need to think of this as a script. You need to say a certain thing to somebody. The way she talked about it, she's like, I love Taylor Swift. So when Taylor Swift was coming to my city, I just called up my best friend and I was like, hey girl, Taylor Swift is coming to our city in 2 weeks and I really want to go see her concert. You got to come with me. It's going to be so fun. We're going to have the best time. And that's the way a new coach should be thinking about inviting someone. They're going to start with their friends and family, and they are going to just share what they're excited about. They're going to share that they started this new thing and they're really excited about these workouts and they're getting great results and it's really fun and you can do them at home, and just use that, just keep it simple and invite people that way. So you don't need a certain script. You don't have to know exactly what to say. Just share your enthusiasm, what excites you about Beachbody, and why you joined. And the best thing really to do is to make a list of contacts. So take a piece of paper, write down, anywhere between 25 and 100 people who could benefit, who in your life, who could benefit from Beachbody, and start inviting them, just reaching out to them and just talking to them, just the way you would invite your friend to go see a Taylor Swift concert or, whatever concert, might interest you. If Taylor Swift is not your thing, just do it the same way. And the idea is we want to help our new coaches find their first customer in their first week so they can get that early win. And yes, we want to, sign our spouses and get to Emerald and all that stuff, but we want to help them find their first non-spouse customer in the first week. And it's really just about talking to friends and family. And then as you're doing that, you're going to post consistently on social media, post daily, show your commitment to a healthy lifestyle, show up every day in your stories, show up every day in a post on Facebook and Instagram, so that when you're talking to your friends and family, they're going to see your posts and they're going to see your commitment and they're going to see that you're the real deal. So it's going to be two things. It's going to be just talking to your friends and family, making that list, and then also posting daily for that social proof of, social media proof that you're actually doing what you say you're doing. And it really can be that simple to do it that way and that way we can help our coaches get their first customers, or if you're a brand new coach, that's what you should be doing. It really can be that simple. Like, we don't have to overcomplicate it. And then, as your things get rolling, you're going to start to branch out more and move more from your warm market into your cold market through social media. But you don't need to worry about that on day one. Just in the beginning, friends and family, and just show excitement. And then again, new coaches and old coaches, we should all be using the business activity tracker. And that's something we can give to our new coaches that they can start doing right away, and they can show to us and check in with us. And that can be really helpful. And then also, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but in the Beachbody Champions page under the unit section, they have a great series of training with like short little, 8 to 10 minute videos on all the important topics that a new coach needs to know. By top coaches, like there's Danielle Natoni, and there's, lots, they're just really great training. So you don't have to feel that you have to like recreate the wheel and recreate trainings for new coaches. They're there, and, it's nice in the unit format because you can check it off as you go along. And that is a great resource for new coaches.
Yeah, and I think one of the main takeaways that I had from this portion of the conference was, sometimes we can get so focused on training, like the coach training, and new coaches can kind of obsess over that too. And it almost creates this block in their mind where they feel like they have to have all the information and do all the things before they actually launch their business. And so just having them sort of redirecting them to keep it very simple, to just start talking and sharing and learn as you go. Because obviously in a business like this, you can't learn everything at once anyway. And so that was kind of mind blowing for me. Cause I was yes, we always get so focused on this training, but it's a lot more simple than that.
Yeah. And I was reading a really great book on the plane. And one of the things that really stood out to me from that book was it said, network marketing is a do and then learn business. So you have to do it, and then you learn it, and then you get better at it, and you improve, but you have to do it first. It's not a learn everything and then do it business. So I feel like that book really, went along with what they were saying at the conference. And I totally believe that. So you just got to do it even before you're ready. Okay. Next slide for you, Camille.
Are you having fun? So I think this is probably when Amy Rada spoke. And basically she was talking a lot about, your social media and using that as your accountability and a place of joy. And do your posts bring you joy? Are you doing you? Are you trying to be someone that you're not? If you're not having fun with this and you're stressed all the time, there's a piece that you're missing. One thing that's helped me along the way is to do what worked for me. I hated to go live. When I was on Facebook, going live was my least favorite thing. It didn't work for me. I was much better at writing these long, extravagant, vulnerable posts. And so that's what I stuck with. So on, Instagram or Facebook or wherever you're running your business, remember to stick to what brings you joy. If it's your post, keep it short and sweet. If that's your style, if you're funny, if you're sarcastic, show that side of you. Just remember that you have a solution to provide. This doesn't have to be scary. Honestly, one thing that has helped me share more about coaching is that this is such a gift. In our programs, what we have to offer is such a gift for other people. We heard from a coach who she was literally about to drive her car off of a cliff, and coaching literally saved her life. So you just never know who's out there needing something for them, or needing to get healthy, or maybe they're just needing to provide for their family. So really think about that when it comes to sharing on social media. Let's see. Oh, who are you most excited to talk to? Talk to those people. So yeah, own who your people are. That's where branding yourself and really finding out who, you enjoy talking to, stick with that. I've learned to have a favorite customer. Like my favorite customer is usually 30 something years old, and she's usually in her second or third month postpartum. She's, desperate to talk to another human being and wants to feel better. And because I was that person. So find who your person is and speak to those people in your posts, and then avoid burnout. So this is so important. You really do have to have some structure. And I think that's where the business activity tracker is really great for those of you who don't have like a schedule figured out, because that took me like a solid year. It took me about a year to figure out how to do all the things and how to make time for them. If that means you need to wake up earlier or work in blocks of time by using like a Google Calendar, which is what Melanie Mitro, I think, spoke about at Leadership last year. Putting your phone away in the afternoons. Allie Tessitore, I can't say her last name, but anyways, she was talking about how her kids are older, and like they know, they're like, Mom, like you have your phone out, like you're choosing work over us. And like she puts her phone away at like 4 p.m. until after bedtime. And that's like a rule that she has for herself. So you can still be successful at this business and not be like attached to your phone all day or your work all day. And setting timers helps too. And kind of like working from each task. So for me, like I'll sit down and do all my follow-ups, or, sit down and do Captivate and like check that off and then move to the next thing. But all that to say, this business should be bringing you joy. It shouldn't be adding stress to your life. That's all I have on that.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I love what Allie said. I feel like it really spoke to me about how she sets certain times of her day where she does certain things. And when her kids come home from school, she puts her phone away, and that's totally fine. And she said she was at a point in her business where she was really burnt out because she would be in bed at night, like at 11 p.m., responding to messages from her coaches. And most things in her business are not emergencies. And there's absolutely like no reason to be, responding to messages at 11:30 p.m. if you got to wake up at 5 a.m. And that's just going to stress you out, and that's going to burn you out. And it's okay to set boundaries and just really set that unplugged time. So yeah, I feel like that was a little lesson for me, because I can be bad at that. So I'm taking that to heart. So Ashlie Molstad spoke, and she was so good, you guys. It like brought, some of the things she said brought me to tears at certain points. And I did record it or like live stream it in the Team Rise Up page. So if you guys have a little bit of extra time, I highly recommend going and watching it yourself, because she was just, the way she presented it and what she said was so amazing. So I've like watched it a few times since the conference, because I really love so many things that she said. And I'm going to try to kind of summarize the most important points here. So she said, everybody wants to know, like, what's the secret to her success? Because she gets ridiculously high Success Club numbers every month, and people are always trying to figure out what it is. And she had this like viral post a few years ago, and everyone's like, it's from the viral post. But she says none of those things are her secret. Her only secret is her mindset. And that's it. Like so much of what we do comes down to our mindset first. And she said, we all have an excuse that we use to rob ourselves of being successful. So you have to identify your excuse. So she said when she first got started, she didn't think she had an interesting story. She said, we all know we're supposed to think of like our hobbies or like the 5 things that make us us. And she's like, okay, so I like going drinking with my husband and happy hour with my friends. And I kind of like working out sort of, but not really. And she's like, okay, so that's my thing. Like, that's my story, that I like drinking. And she was like afraid to share that side of her. She was afraid to share who she really was. And then she just at one point decided to say, like, forget about it. I'm just going to share who I am and like own it and be myself. And when she did that, she became successful because she was authentic to herself. So that might not be your excuse. You might have a different excuse. And then she went through like a host of different excuses. Maybe your excuse is that your husband doesn't support you, so you think you can't be successful at this business. And then she would give an example of a coach whose husband wasn't supportive and they're rocking it anyway. So she gave the example of Melanie Mitro. When she started, her husband was not supportive. And obviously she became successful anyways. And then, you know, maybe you're thinking, I can't be successful because I work full time and I don't have time to do this business. And then, you know, there's the example of Amy Rada. When she first got started, she was a full-time teacher and she was doing like photography on the side. And she said she woke up every day at 3:45 a.m. to get in like the time that she needed to work her business. So if you're serious about this, like you'll find time and you'll make a way. And maybe your excuse is that you are not at your goal weight and you don't feel comfortable sharing videos or pictures of yourself. And she gave the example of Coach Tulin, who is like rocking her niche market of plus size fitness. Like that just can't be an excuse. Or some people might have an excuse like, I'm super fit and people can't relate to me. I have a six pack. Danielle Matoni does too. She's super fit and she's rocking it. So basically what she said was, whatever your excuse is, you got to identify it and get rid of it. And one easy way of doing that is finding a top coach who had that same excuse and who's rocking it anyways. She also said, you guys, if you're not successful in this business, it's on you. You can't blame it on anyone else. It doesn't matter. It's not on your upline. It's not on your spouse. It's not on your kids. It's not because of your work. It's literally just on you. And the sooner you are able to take responsibility for that, the sooner you are able to figure it out and do the work. She also talked a lot about leaders and leadership because, you know, that's what this whole conference was about. And she said, leaders don't expect their hands to be held. They just get to work. So you don't need to wait for your upline to tell you when your next challenge group is starting or when the next sneak peek is or how many people you should be inviting, or they don't need to tell you what to do. If you're a leader, you just get to work and you don't need your hand to be held. You just do it. She also said elite is a decision. Success is a decision. You have to act as if it's already done. And that's like what Camille said. Like you have to act as if your goal is, let's say, is to be an elite coach, you have to act as if you're already an elite coach. Like, does an elite coach wake up in the morning and like press snooze a million times and scroll through social media an hour before they get to work? Probably not, right? So stop doing those things if you are doing them. Just act as if you are already where you want to be. Like, I think about that all the time. Sometimes when I'm wasting time, I'm like, would Melanie Mitro do this? Probably not. And then I'm like, okay, done. Move on to like some actual work now. She also talked a little bit about her daughter and how, you know, sometimes people would ask her, like, do you have a nanny? Do you feel guilty that you have a nanny? And she was like, no, you know, I love working and I love this business. I also love my daughter, but I can still be a really good mom and have a nanny who watches her for, I think she said like 20 hours a week. So don't feel like, you know, if you're spending time on this business and maybe it's taking you away from your kids a little bit, don't feel guilty for that, because our kids deserve a parent who is living up to their potential. And if that means, like, if you feel like this business is, you know, gives you a sense of purpose and it inspires you and it helps you live up to your potential, then you don't have to feel guilty about, you know, taking some time away from your kids to work on this business. Obviously, you know, we want everyone to spend time with their family too. And like, obviously we want everyone to spend time with their kids if that's what they want to do, but don't feel guilty if you're spending some time working. You absolutely don't need to. Then she also said you have to relentlessly believe. You have to believe. You have to believe that you can be successful. You have to believe in this business. You have to believe that Beachbody has an amazing mission. You have to believe in that mission. And you have to believe that we're helping people, because the more you believe, the easier it is to achieve. So belief, mindset, like getting to work, all of those things are super important.
So good. Yeah. If you haven't watched that, like if you watched anything that we recorded, like go watch her speak, because it just like, she's so real and raw. Like to me, like I love Melanie Mitro, but I've always been a little intimidated by her like professionalism, because I'm not that way. And I feel like I can relate a lot more to Ashlie, like not with the drinking and all of that, but just like, she just is so relatable. So yeah, definitely check that out. Okay, so final tips. They laid it out there for us, like as leaders, for our coaches. Basically, you know, it should be very clear that becoming an Emerald coach is like something you want to get to as soon as possible. So, Allie was talking about how, you know, she really makes a point to get her coaches to Emerald within 7 days. Diamond should happen between 60 and 90 days. I think it's easy for us to think that, you know, these goals are hard to achieve, like Diamond, and it's really not that hard. Like, I think you just have to really change your mindset with that. What was I going to say too? I added a few things I'd looked at. You want to, you know, if you are shooting for Premier or Elite this year, you want to identify like your 5 and then find 5 more. So that's where mapping out your leaders, mapping out your potential diamonds, identifying those leadership benchmarks, but you're going to things like, are they hitting Success Club, you know, consistently? Are they rank advancing? Are they showing up on team trainings? Are they eager to learn and grow? So are they going to Summit this year? Do they share your same vision? Get with those people and like say, hey, do you want to link arms with me and do this together? As far as yourself, like for me, like this was the wake up call I needed when I got back. I hired a housekeeper. That's something that's been on my goal list for a really long time. Hire an assistant if you need someone to help you with the things that you don't love. Hiring a nanny, babysitter, lean on your spouse or family members. Guys, like there is no way, like we have rock star coaches on our team. Like, I don't know how Megan does it. Like I would depend on my husband a lot. And I will leave the house and go work on stuff at Starbucks for like 3 hours on the weekends. Like I have to get away. So whatever you need to do, whether it's wake up at, 4:30 in the morning, like Amy Rada does, or, try to save and spend money on getting a virtual assistant instead of paying for, I don't know, like new clothes or something, make those sacrifices so that you can put your business first and you can really, maximize on the time that you have. And then obviously Success Club should be a non-negotiable each month. So they really talked about when you do start new coaches to really help. The best way to go about that is to set very clear expectations. They should already know, from day one, sort of what their goals should be as far as rank advancing, hitting Success Club. That should be very clear and simple. Because I think it's easy to really sugarcoat those things. But if they want to see success, we owe it to them. Like if we don't tell them why they should sign their spouse or why they should get to Emerald, then, we're really doing them a disadvantage. But yeah, and then honestly, this trip was so great to be able to share with the people following you. I took my husband to Disneyland. He's never been before. We went and did that. The hotel we stayed at was amazing. Everything about it was just so nice, so professional. And so just the experience in itself is just something to work towards. So yeah. And then being able to share, I will tell you that, once you start rank advancing and hitting things like, Premier or whatever, being able to share that in your social media. I personally noticed an increase in people interested in coaching because I was sharing those things. It's easier to share about coaching when you're going to Summit, you're going on Success Club trips, you're doing things because you have, more to share about it. So anyways, I'd love to hear from any of y'all if you have questions, or Sheryl, if you had stuff to add to that. Sheryl.
I think we lost Sheryl.
Uh-oh.
She looks frozen to me. Or
she does.
She's really good at holding a pose. That was so awesome, you guys. Oh my gosh. Such amazing takeaways. Does anybody have questions? Oh, maybe Cheryl's back.
Hey, sorry, my Wi-Fi just like cut out for a second there.
You are really good at holding a pose, Cheryl. I have to tell you. You guys, that was awesome. Who has questions? I'm just gonna. Oh yeah. Do you have any? Did you want to close us out, Cheryl? Did you kind of got cut off there? Did you have anything?
Yeah. I just wanted to. Am I cutting out still? Or am I okay? Hopefully, I'm okay. I just want to share one thing. They had a coach come up and talk. Her name was Kate Schultz, and she like basically went 5-star in like 1 year. And she shared a little bit of how she got started. And she said she was following a coach on social media, and her coach did like one of those call to action posts, and she just liked it. Like she didn't comment on it. She didn't message her. She just liked the post, and her coach reached out to her and sent her a private message and invited her to join the challenge group. And so she did. She got started. It didn't like go that well in the beginning. She didn't really do very much. She kind of fell off track. I think I might be getting cut out here. I apologize, guys. Okay, so she was kind of falling off track, but her coach didn't give up on her. She reached out to her. She said, "Do you want to join my next group? Do you want to give this another try?" And she did, and she eventually became a coach, and she eventually became like a rock star coach. So, you know, those simple things that we do every day, like, you know, when we do a post and people like it and we're supposed to reach out to them and message them, it's so easy to like let those things go, but you never know who the person is on the other side. You might totally change their life. They might totally change your life. You guys might become best friends. They might become, you know, the best coach on your team. So don't forget to do those basic things like messaging people that like your posts and checking in with the challengers in your groups, even the ones that like fall off and don't post anything. You know, check in with them a few months later, invite them again. Just those simple things that are easy to do and easy not to do. Keep doing those things, you guys. And I feel like that was just sort of like the general feeling I got from the conference, was that these coaches who are like at the top, who are talking, like they're no different than any of us. They don't do anything that is that special. They just do those consistent things day in and day out. And then that's how they get to be where they are now. So you guys should all set this on your vision board for next year, 100%. Like even if you're a brand new coach, you can go next year. You don't need to wait years and years and years to go. Like, you know, Camille said, Ali Tessitore said she teaches her new coaches, you know, you go diamond in 60 to 90 days. So if you're a new coach, you could go diamond in 60 to 90 days. And one of those coaches that you bring on that, you know, helps you form your diamond, they could go diamond in 60 to 90 days. And boom, you're 1-star and you could go next year. So don't let this conference be something that seems like far off that you can't achieve. You absolutely can achieve it, even if you're a brand new coach and you signed up yesterday, or if you've been a coach for a long time, you haven't had any traction, you all can go next year if you want to.
Yeah, like don't set the bar low. I didn't really even have much of a team this time last year. Like I was a diamond coach, but I was nowhere near getting my husband to diamond. I hadn't, like, my first diamond coach had just signed up. But so much can happen in such a short period of time as a Beachbody coach. Like Kate Schultz, like she went from a new coach to whatever she is now, like in no amount of time at all. So just don't like underestimate yourself. Because it really can happen. And one thing I wanted to add to that I think has really helped me personally is trying to really attract my tribe and my people, because first of all, it is so much fun when you're working with people that are like you and like the same things as you, and the people that you want to have coffee with, and the people that you wish you lived 5 minutes from. So think about who those people are, and that's what your post should be about when it's about coaching. Talk about those things that you love, because like a team is great, but if you have a team but it's not like people that you would enjoy being with and leading, then it's not as much fun. So I've really been able to find that joy in the people that I work with, and I like want that for everyone.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. All of those things that you said are so true. And I loved everything you said about Ashlie Molstad. As you guys know, I'm a huge mindset thing. Like, I believe that when I believe 100% in myself and this business and the program that I'm doing, and I'm just like really, really into it, my business is just really, really easy. When I start doubting myself and doubting my abilities and just getting off track, everything's a little bit harder. Belief and mindset is so huge. So if you are not digging into personal development, like, you need to, that's got to be like top on your list, because that's going to help you with everything. I think that belief, I took a screenshot of that, of what she said, because I think it is so true. I actually listened to a YouTube video today, because I will be 100% like real with you guys. I'm finding this month pretty challenging for myself, and I was getting myself into like a negative headspace. So I went to YouTube and searched mindset, and what?
I was just vouching for that.
Oh, Terry's just vouching for, this has been a difficult month. Thank you very much for your good old Terry. Anyways, the video was about how we often will say to ourselves, well, what if this doesn't work? So maybe you're in the middle of a conversation. Well, what if she doesn't purchase? What if she doesn't want to join me? Why not switch that around and say, what's the best thing that could happen? What's the best thing that could happen out of this conversation? What's the best thing that could happen out of this business? What's the best thing that could happen today? Instead of always thinking what if in a negative tone, just if you like switch that thought process in your own head. And I'll say that today ended up a lot better than what I thought it might. And who knows, maybe it was because I switched that thought process. What was the best thing that could happen instead of what if things don't work out? So I love the mindset stuff. I think it's so, so true. And all those takeaways were amazing. Does anybody have questions for these girls? I want to check the chat. No, everyone's just saying thank you. And who wants to be there next year? I wish I could go back. Lots of hands are going up. You guys, honestly, you all can be there next year.
Just make a plan. Like, if you don't understand the logistics and details, because I never know that stuff. Like, I wanted to be a premier coach, but I didn't know what that meant, like, at all. And I still don't really know what it means. But get with your upline and make a plan. Like, just figure it out and you'll get there. One thing we forgot was that Allie really stressed goal setting monthly goals, quarterly goals, and having like an actual visual. So I started an Excel spreadsheet, which is like, if you know me, that is like not me at all. Matthew made it. I obviously didn't make it, but she actually has a spreadsheet that she shares with her leaders, and they put their quarterly goal, their monthly goal, and then where they're at. So every single week they update where they're at as far as their rank, their Success Club numbers, and where they want to be during that next quarter, so that you're not waiting until October and you're still trying to hit that goal that you had January 1st. So just being super intentional with your goals. I think that's this business, you have to be super intentional, because if you sit back and you just let the time pass, you're not going to be where you're going to be. It's just like with Success Club. Like, that's why we always talk about hitting it at the beginning of the month. If you don't hit it at the beginning of the month, you're going to be stressing out later in the month. So, from a team perspective, that is something, and I can totally share the picture of that slide and what that looked like. But I just initiated that with my team, and we'll see how it goes. But sorry, I just wanted to add that before we ended.
That's awesome. Thanks, Camille. Yeah, goals are huge, right? And I'm going to end the call on just use your frickin' success tracker. Like, honestly, that thing is gold. If you have not printed that out yet, you're just nuts. Like, that thing has been so perfected. And if you can just fill that out every single day, you're going to have success. Like, hands down, you will. It's like the guide to success. So that's your first step. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us tonight. And this was all really awesome, and it's recorded, so I will get it uploaded tomorrow because I'm going to bed.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank
Bye.
you.